Hi, so we are back with our Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous Unfair Build Guides. This time we are doing Seelah again, and I'm going back and starting the series from scratch. I'm doing a lot of changes on video format and also in my builds. Not all of my builds are going to change, but with the upcoming patch 1.1, as you can see down here, I'm on the beta currently. It's not officially out, but you can enter the beta, it is open, and there are some very nice changes and bug fixes. Because of them, we are going to be able to improve a lot some of our builds, and that's what prompted me to start back from the start, so we can make the most out of our builds with the new tools we were given with the bug fixes. The videos are going to be a lot shorter as well if everything goes according to plan, and at least the build portion of the videos, so I can fit in more let's play and combat showcases, so you have a better idea of how the build plays throughout the game. And at least I'm going to try to put a video of a early game combat and a video of a late game combat, and most of the times the mid game is just an in-between, which I'm sure most people will be able to figure out for themselves. But at least the starting and ending point of the builds I'm going to try and showcase for every one of them. If you are new to the series and don't know how we do our builds, they are all made for unfair difficulty and none of them exploit bugs, so they should all remain viable despite any bug fixes or patches made to the game. It's also worth mentioning that all my builds are tested from early to late levels. They are not made just for the sake of YouTube videos. I do them firstly for my own unfair playthroughs, and it's very important to me that they are actually effective at every level in the game, so I can actually get through with my playthroughs and not just remain the helm of theory crafting. Because this is a turn-based system, but the game is real time with pause, sometimes builds don't go as I'd expect them, and that's why I think the testing is important, so I can both bring you the best builds and actually be able to beat the game on unfair difficulty, which is my main goal. With all that out of the way, let's get to our builds. This build is going to be a full tank build. Our goal is to reach at least the hundreds of AC as early as possible, because enemies on unfair difficulty have a really high attack. On the early game, we can't do a lot of tanking with the companions that are given to us, at least on the prologue, so unless you do a tank main character, I highly recommend that you have an animal companion to do the tanking. This build already has one, so it has all the tanking you need covered throughout the game. It also has a lot of levels in Sorcerer, bringing some nice utility spells. So let's see what we do for our first levels. Our first level up, which is level 2, since she already has a level 1 paladin, we are going to go for Sylvan Sorcerer. For our bonus feat, we take Heightened Spell just because it's the most versatile in terms of moving spells in different levels. And for our animal companion, we take the Leopard. It has the highest AC early on, and that's when we need the most help tanking, because mid and late game Seelah is already going to cover all the tanking we need. And the spells, you are going to go for True Strike, that's the most important, and the second one can be either Mage Armor or Shield. Both are going to be important later on, but most of your spell uses you want to use just for True Strike, so you can contribute to party damage. You should equip her with a glaive early on, so you can do more damage, and use Enlarge Person to increase your strength and weapon damage. So this is basically how early game goes. Leopard has a 32 AC and he's going to be our tank. Seelah is going to be a damage dealer with enlarged person and true strike. She can keep contributing to damage, while Leopard tanks, and he does more than enough, especially with protective luck, which if you don't know how good it is, check out my Camellia build video where I showcase it more. So here, just let Camellia cast protective luck and we hit for decent damage. Keep casting true strikes and the chance of Hostile getting a hit in is really low. So this is a pretty comfortable place we are in. If you have our companions helping, it's much easier, but we could even solo Hostila. I don't know about the Quasits, but at least Hostila we could solo just with those three. So on our third level, after getting out of the shield maze and arriving on Canabri's back again, we go for a level of Stigmatized Witch. This way we can get the Ice Plant Hex, giving us a +2 natural armor bonus, and also get a Lizard Familiar, giving us a +1 bonus to natural armor. A total of a +3 with just one level. On level 4 we go for Monk Scaled Fist. This is going to give us improved unarmed strike, allowing us to get Crane Style as a bonus feat. And this is going to be an extra +1 dodge bonus to AC, and now we can get our Charisma to AC. As you can see, our first bonus +7 AC bonus to Charisma comes from the Monk Scaled Fist, the AC bonus ability. So this is a very nice boost to our AC, and when you get Monk Scaled Fist, you want to drop your armor. Actually, you want to drop your armor right from the get-go, because the armor has a arcane spell failure chance, which can make so that your sorcerer spells fail. So we have yet another multi-class on our 5th level. It's going to be in Oracle. We are going to choose the Nature Mystery. For Curse we took Wolf Scared. Currently Wolf Scared doesn't seem to have any downsides to it. On pen and paper it has a 20% chance of spell failure if the spell has vocal components, but it doesn't seem to have any on the digital version. So unless this changes, Wolf Scared just seems a good option because of that. And for our revelation we take Nature's Whispers. This is going to make it so that we don't use our dexterity bonus to AC any longer. Instead we are going to use Charisma. So you can see it here. We have our second bonus is a dexterity bonus +7, and that's because of Nature Whispers. Instead of the +1 from dex, we are using the +7 to Charisma for our AC. Now let's go over the feats we took on those levels. At level 3 we take Boon Companion, so our animal companion keeps leveling with us and doesn't fall back. At level 5 we take Deflect Arrows, and now we are going to go just for Sorcerer until the end of the game. There is a main reason for that, and it is mostly for the Cemental spell you get later on. But as of patch 1.1 we are going to be able to pick a second bloodline with Sylvan Sorcerer, allowing us to pick a Draconic bloodline, which gives a lot of nice bonuses to AC. Sorcerer, I'm going to cover the spells you should choose later, so now I'm going to focus just on the feats. Okay, so for level 7 we're going to take Improved Initiative. For level 9, Outflank, so we can help our damage dealers to get an extra bonus to hit. For level 11 we take Crane Wing, a +4 bonus to AC against melee attacks, very important. At level 13, there's nothing too good we can get here, and back to back is not bad. It's a nice bonus to AC. We just have to make sure we pick this with another of our tanks or of tanks. We are going to pick it with our animal companion build, so if you choose to follow my animal companion build, it's already going to be covered. At level 15, we take improved lightning reflexes. At level 17, combat expertise. We don't take combat expertise earlier because we need transformation to make it really effective, and we don't get transformation before level 16. That's why I took it on 17 instead of 15. It's also important that by this point you really need a +4 item to intelligence to be able to pick and use combat expertise. And at level 19 we take improved great fortitude. For our sorcerer feats we took lightning reflexes and we took great fortitude. Those allowed us to pick both improved lightning reflexes and improved great fortitude. So this is it for our character levels. Let's now take a look at our mythic path levels. For mythic levels, I start with Archmage Armor. It's a nice bonus to AC, which is going to scale with our mythic rank. At second level, I take Last Stand. It's one of the best abilities for tanking, and we don't take it at level 1. You could if you want to, but we don't take it because on early game we're mostly relying on our animal companion to tank, and Seelah is basically just using the glaive and true strikes to contribute to some damage, while the damage she can do is still relevant at this point in the game. So the Last Stand can come at a second level because she doesn't need to be our main front line as of now. And at third mythic rank we go for Draconic Bloodline, and let's see how much it adds. This is not something we could do before patch 1.1. Currently it's only on beta, so you need to opt for the open beta if you want to do this right now, but I hope it will come to full release soon enough. And Draconic Dragon Resistance is the first ability that's very important for us. It's going to give a +1 bonus to natural armor at the level we get it. At 9th level, which is actually I think Mythic rank 3 comes at 9th level. Yeah, so right when we get it, it's already a +2 natural armor bonus as well as some cold resistance. And at level 15 this is going to increase to a +4 bonus to natural armor. But not only that, at level 15 we also get wings, which is an extra +3 bonus to natural armor, but only against melee attacks. It's still a very nice bonus to our C, a total of +7 against melee attacks, a big difference that we could not do before patch 1.1. So going forward we take Dodge Mythic, just a +1 to AC, Abundant Smite. Smite increases our AC, especially if you have Aradan's Wrath, an item that lets you add the Smite bonus to AC as a sacred bonus instead of a deflection bonus, which means it's going to stack with everything you already have instead of overlapping with your deflection bonus to AC. At level 6 we take Enduring Spells, and at level 7 Greater Enduring Spells, just so our buffs last longer. At level 8 we take Mythical Beast to make our animal companion a bit stronger, because they do fall off quite a bit on late game. At level 9 Inspirational Leader, it's really nice bonus to initiative, and it's good to have a decent initiative with your tanks so you don't get flat-footed too often. And at level 10 we took Improved Mythic Initiative, for the same reason we don't want to get flat-footed too often. For spells, the most important one at lower levels is True Strike, but as we level and our damage falls off, we want to be more of a tank, so we use mostly defensive spells, mage armor, shield, and reduce person at level 1. At level 2 we have blur, mirror image, and eagle splendor also boost our AC, which relies on charisma. At level 3 we have an amazing spell, blink, and also haste, which is a +1 to AC and also a very nice utility to our party. With heightened spell you can make blink or haste level 4 or even 5 spells, because we don't have as good spells on those levels. And blink, it's similar to displacement but better, because even if enemies have true sight, they still get a 20% miss chance with blink, and on top of that you also have a 50% chance to avoid spells, which is amazing. So at level 4, nothing important, you can heighten something better to here. The same for level 5. At level 6 we get transformation, it's a +4 to natural armor and also boosts our combat expertise bonus to AC. At level 7 we get ice body, immunity to criticals, ability scores, among others. Just be aware it makes you vulnerable to fire, so always have a way to overcome that so you don't die too easily against fire spells. And at level 8 we have Cemental, a +8 bonus to AC. Very big for us. For equipments we have mostly standard tank stuff, so natural armor amulet, ring is icy protector, which only works when you have icy plant hacks, but it's +2 natural armor bonus to AC, and we have ice plant hacks. Ring of Nahidrian Courage is also nice, +2 morale bonus to AC against ranged attack only, but it's not easy to get a morale bonus to AC, so we take it. Remember, we always need a +4 to intelligence headband. Having this one, which also gives charisma, so we don't need to cast Eagle Souls to get the +4 to charisma, is also nice, but it could easily be just a +4 to intelligence and you cast Eagle Soul for the bonus to charisma and to AC. So Robe of Virtue is a +2 dodge bonus to AC, only can be worn by good aligned monks, and we are good aligned monks. It's also only against evil enemies, but that is most enemies we fight. We don't need a belt of dexterity, and that's because we don't use dexterity to AC, we use charisma instead because of our Nature's Whispers Oracle Revelation. And this one gives an insight bonus to AC, which again is not easy to come by. Also increases our HP because of the bonus to Constitution. For weapon, this is a +1 dodge bonus to AC, it stacks with every other bonus, so a good option which you can find relatively early on. And Aradan's Wrath, very important. This is a huge boost to AC because it makes so that your smite, instead of a deflection bonus, which would overlap with things like Shield of Faith, instead gives a sacred bonus, which doesn't overlap with any other bonuses we have, making it so that we can get 3 times our charisma to AC, from Oracle, from Monk, and now from our smites. This is also a nice item. It has a chance to trigger the Scroll of Resourceful Smite and give you 1 additional use of Smite permanently. So if you don't have anyone else on which to use this one to get more smites, Seelah is a good option. In terms of capes, we don't have anything too special, but this can be a bonus to AC, though very situational, so nothing to write home about. Now that we are all buffed up, let's get into combat to see how high we can get our AC. Currently, out of combat, it is at 69, but it's going to get a lot higher. Here you can see the buffs we used. Remember to cast Transformation as your last buff, because after that you are no longer able to cast spells. Also, remember to turn on all of this. Here we are doing just self buffs. We could get some extra ones with bark skin, so instead of the amulet to natural armor, we could use half of a pair, for instance. We could get a +5 from magical vestments, which we are missing. And we could get a +5 deflection bonus. Currently we have just a +4, so this one would be a +1 to AC. So we are missing about a +8 to AC because we are doing just self buffs, but let's see how we do in combat. And you will see that even though enemies will only hit us in a 20, we don't actually last that long in combat. Let's check out how high our AC is right now. Oh, they are missing us from concealment because of blink. But here we go. Someone didn't miss because of concealment. This one has true sight, so as you can see, just a 20% miss chance. But this is why blink is strong. Even if they have true sight, they still have a miss chance. And right now our AC is at 93. With buffs from magical vestments and others, we can easily get this to 100, but we don't even need help from companions to get to 100. Here we are also missing the bonus from our smite, which would be a +7 bonus to AC, sacred bonus, which we don't have any, so we could get to 100 just from self buffs. And let's cast our smite against one enemy. But mostly here you will see we won't last too long. And the reason for that is because enemies on unfair difficulty deal double the usual amount of damage, and because they have so many attacks. Some enemies have up to 8 attacks per turn. They even hitting us only on 20s. The chance of us getting hit is actually not too low. So as you can see here, a 97. That's because previously we were probably missing the bonus from Crane Wing, which goes away sometimes if an enemy hits you and comes back the following turn. And yeah, you can see we are taking a lot of damage because enemies eventually will roll a 20 and you will die. So a tank by itself is not enough for unfair difficulty. Here we are already on less than, and how could we overcome that? That's not enough for unfair in my opinion. I'm not going to cover this in this video, but if you check out my next video, we are going to cover Camellia, and she is basically my answer on how to deal with the unfair double damage from enemies problem. She's extremely effective, and she will make so that our tanks, instead of lasting about 5 or 6 rounds maybe, will last for as long as we need. We are going to lower enemy chances to hit by the hundreds. So, if you want to see how we did it, check out my Camellia build video. But until the next one, I hope you have a good time.